Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night Principled Chiropractic call, sponsored by DE and Band Brothers all over the world. We are so glad to come to you tonight in this first week of June. I'm sure you all have heard by now, this past week, we lost a chiropractic icon, Miss Beth Umber, wife of our patriarch and great mentor Dee Umber, went on to be with the Lord this past week, and she was the epitome of strength and grace, and supported DE and chiropractic so much, and we will just miss her greatly. We're just gonna offer our love and support to Dr. Dee and wish he and their family peace and comfort. And so for a family who has dedicated their lives to DE, we honor them now and all the future DEs. So just, hold a super place for them in your hearts. Having said that, it's about time to get ready for DE. The next DE is next month, July 18th through the 21st. It's in Atlanta. We make our way back to Atlanta for this one. Make sure you book your rooms. Make sure you go ahead and register. Don't leave this stuff to the last minute. Go ahead and commit. Make sure that it's going to be a part of your summer. And I look at the summertime as a great refresher. We can really get focused and retooled and kind of take a little bit of a break, but also just get ready for the next quarter of our year. So we want to stay focused and make sure you get scheduled for that. The following DE is going to be our great gala. That will be in October. So this is going to be the 60th anniversary gala of DE. It is going to be a James Bond theme. So you get your tuxes ready and get your sequin gowns and be ready to show up and show out for a great celebration that I know it's going to be. Also, for the gala, make sure you get on lifede.com so that you can do all sorts of things, actually. You can purchase ad space in the anniversary journal. There's some information there for that. But we're going to have some wonderful mementos, too, I just learned. So we'll have a ring, and there will be some other wonderful things. Those are all going to be available for you to prearrange on the Life DE store. So having said that, there's lots of wonderful things coming up. This is going to be a very remarkable year. It's time to get focused for the second half of the year and really represent chiropractic and serve with love and serve hard. Speaking of serving with love and serving hard, I am super honored to introduce our speaker tonight. I absolutely admire her so much. And I know she's always so articulate and wise and looks at things in such an incredible way. And she is a shining example of DE and God's love. And so I am just really looking forward to listening tonight. So please welcome to the DE Tuesday night stage, Natalie Nedanovski.
Hi, thank you, Dawn. I do want to also say something about Beth Umber. I am so thankful for the love that she has always brought to DE, the love and just excitement to see myself, my husband, and our family, and the kind words that she shared with us. But, she was sweet and quiet alongside Dr. Umber, but that she just had always been so supportive to him and to chiropractic. So forever we'll be thankful. And really, I want to take my time here to share testimony to DE and all that it's done for me, but I'll do that in a way of sharing either citizens or story messages from Dr. BJ that I've received at DE and what that means to me and how it's translated in so many different ways. And so I will ask Dawn. I know we have some details for you to continue to share maybe at the end about celebrating Beth. So I think that will be great. To jump in, I am Natalie Nedanovski. I practice in Farmington, Michigan, and I've been in practice for 12 years now. I've been going to DE for 16 years as I calculated that. And it just was at a time where I was drowning in x-ray in school and needed more. I needed to know that I was working towards more than just the educated mind. And so our class or our group that we came to DE with, we were skipping board review to go to DE, and we were sleeping on our board review books and trusting God that we would absorb all that information, and He got us through. I opened up right outside of school, and so I have one practice in Farmington, another joint practice over in Howell, and we're working to purchase another. And that's all just testimony to God and testimony to DE and what I've learned and how to share. So I'm a note taker when I come to DE, and I have boiled so many stories and messages down to some important citizens. And I just wanted to share on those. Some newcomers might not necessarily know always what those mean or even what they mean to me. So I loved when Dr. said he would read what he had previously written, and it was with emphasis, and it was so he didn't miss anything, because when those thought flashes came, he knew they were gold, and he would just write it down. So if for those that just kind of sit in their room and absorb or sit on calls and think we're going to retain, there are times later that we need this information. So it might not be for right now, but it might be for the person you are later, because we're always different and changing and experiencing more and having new filters. So not just for my sharing, but I encourage you to continue to take notes, hearing other speakers. As far as lasting purpose, so to give, to love out of our own abundance without the expectation of something in return. And that helps in the chiropractic relationship, that helps in personal relationships. It's like, are we truly giving from our heart and our ability and from the source, God through us, and not expecting something in return? The expectancy that someone else could feel when you are expecting something, you might not think that they know you have that expectancy, but they can feel it from you. It creates such an unnatural tension and not a godly tension. So when we can release that and be purely doing, giving, loving, serving out of an abundance, they can feel it, and it really builds trust. As far as the dynamic essential, Dr. Sid, Dr. Umberd, and Beth are very spiritual and amazing Christians in their examples. And they just had adopted this into their hearts. So to be humble and obedient to the God within. And once we do, we become dynamic, and that's essential. And dynamic means changing and moving and doing what it takes in order to be obedient. And that's essential because we have a message that no other profession is giving. And so we have to change. We can't be stuck in our own ways. So I'm the one that sometimes tries to stir it up with procedures or stir it up with financials and charge more and share the value. And when I'm sharing, and it's only because we need to be dynamic so people know that this is valuable and truly what our type of chiropractic has to offer. The innate to innate is something that actually Dr. Patty, I had learned interning with her and getting to go to Band of Brothers with her. And there's been debates about it. Can innate connect to innate? It's inside. How can one's innate connect to another? But is that not love? Some might say, pheromones or this and that, but is it not love? It's using your instincts and your innate and God-given abilities to perceive what someone else possibly needs. And so when we're working through adjustments, serving the masses, and it's totally God creating time warps for us to serve a lot of people. Like it's only innate to innate, and it's our educated mind with experience and intention, all the educated that we've dumped in to, like how Dr. Sid said, in his book, The Road to Success is Through the Heart, is that we need to learn our skills, to know them by heart, so that they do come through innate and not through the educated mind. Because if we are activated and functioning from the educated mind, it will inhibit the innate mind. And so that's how we're able to have those innate given adjustments, properly perceiving what that individual in front of us needs. So I do believe there can be an innate to innate connection. As far as humility, I do believe I present myself pretty confidently, and I don't believe anyone should put their hands on a patient if they don't believe that they are the best chiropractor. There's work to be done if we don't think that we are the best. And so we need to portray that to the patients, and that this is absolutely what they need. And so that comes with being proud of being in a profession that serves people in such high integrity. And that's by making sure we are selling a clear product. And so it's very clear that we are not mixing in other services. My product is to detect, correct, and educate about vertebral subluxation so that they can live a subluxation-free lifestyle innately guided. And that innately guided has to be there, because we can't manage all of their stressors and what causes them to be subluxated. The best gift we can give them is to teach them how to listen to innate. And it starts slowly. And then they also obviously have to have no interference so they can listen. But when that happens and they do have the healing that takes place, we can't take the credit. And they're so often, they like us, we're personable, they feel the love from us, and they want to give us the credit. And it's, first of all, God doesn't want us to take the credit. That's another higher mission in our office, is for people to receive God and Christ if they know that the power that made the body heals the body, and then they receive healing. So then they could possibly also receive God. So that's one thing, but also it's them, it's putting it on them. So you made it here. You don't get what you want. You get what you commit to. You don't get just, you don't feel better because you've come once. You've put the time in. And so we take it off of ourselves, which can actually build trust with them instead of building ourselves up. And, oh, we're awesome. Oh, we're great. Not that any of our DE brothers and sisters do that, but we put it back on them to say that God's doing the healing. He made you. He facilitates all these other functions in your body. Why would we not expect him to heal you now? So the best prediction of tomorrow is the past, and he's already caused all of this to happen in your body. So let's trust in him now and how he made you. So I'm gonna keep going through just our intense little list that I have here. I love our sign at DE that nothing is bigger than life. It's kind of like, how do we equate that in table talk? Like, nothing's bigger than life. Like, okay, obvious, but it's like, if medical says brainwaves equals life, we know spirit equals life, and then even the additional component telling them there's an inborn wisdom. God gave us innate intelligence. And that's inside of us. If we have, and I will say that innate intelligence makes forces, and the forces in our body are brain waves, and those brain waves travel through our body. So it does start with innate. Actually, it starts with universal. So God giving us that innate intelligence, that part of universal, to create the forces of brain waves. And as those brain waves travel along our nervous system uninterrupted, then we get to coordinate and heal our body, keeping our matter together so that we are existing. And not just randomly decomposing and causing scattered atoms. So coming back to that, there's nothing bigger than life. And so I'll say at the table talk, so if medical or people believe that the presence of brainwaves equals life and the absence of brainwaves equal death, does it make sense that decreased brainwaves through the body causes sickness or disease? Even blocked brainwaves could cause an organ to die while we're living and cause dysfunction. Or think about a stomach ulcer, and the stomach lining is decaying as someone's alive, as they're not getting proper nerve flow there. So it's like, nothing's bigger than those brainwaves traveling. Nothing's going to heal you and coordinate you the way that you think, especially something from the outside in. And so when we constantly separate that healing comes from within, from above down, not only neurologically from our brain anatomically, but from above down, from universal to innate, people will grasp that. So take it conceptually and then take it to the science, and they can grasp that. And when they start hearing some components that are true, you'll bring them along as they start to trust you, and they can accept other things as truth. So I think that's, when I tell people there's no other profession unlocking brainwaves and allowing people to express life with confidence and not blinking and not looking away. And I ask them, do you know anybody else? Does that PT that you're being told to go to, are they doing that? Is that surgery going to do that? And so like when we say it in that confidence, like, you know what? No, doc, they're not. And they're already coming to us and saying, I know that's outside in. And so if we're educating the difference between the two, we better not be doing the two. You better not be doing outside in and telling them that healing comes from the inside out, because that's product confusion and it's lying to the patient. That is treatment, and there's a place, and we want them to understand the difference, because if they are to receive treatment and feel better, that does not mean that their body's functioning the way God designed it to. Gratitude. I think someone I don't know, he always pops into my head, Leo from Long Island, and I think of gratitude, and he tells me all the time, years as a student, he would tell me he'd go seat to seat in his lobby and just thank God for his patients before they came in and after they came in. And it's so many different things. It's, God, I'm ready for them. I'm dedicating the time to already thank you, and I know you're the provider, not only the provider to keep this clinic open, not only the provider to provide for my family, but also to bring the people that we can help in. And who doesn't need chiropractic? Everyone, but bring the ones who are ready, and even the ones who are not ready and need to hear it first and cracked open. And so I just loved it. I hung on to it as a student, and that's always stuck in my primary notes. And I think with that, it creates expectancy. And so when God's on our side, like, who can be against us? Like, he's going to provide. He's going to bring those people in. And it's from all of the preparation and the words that we say, it cannot fail when we have the right intention of serving God's people, with pure intention, with a fair exchange, with building value, helping them get out of their own way. So we walk in expectancy there. And we also walk in expectancy when they're coming in the door. They're already a yes. So when we train teams, it's like we are training, like, I'm surprised if they're not taking x-rays. What do you mean? We need to go back to the beginning. We've already done your evaluation, your scans. It tells us that you have interference there. We have a table exam to tell us tonally that your body has tone change. Like, we need to break this down for you. We have found the underlying cause, and we can help you. And it's in your nervous system and your spine. We are going to take x-rays. So the expectancy, in a loving manner, not pushing. And so it's like, what else can we help with? How else can we bring clarity? What else can we share to help you feel comfortable? How can we make it affordable? So all those different ways, the team's just coming with expectancy, no matter what the person says when they're coming in, no matter what they're expecting financially or anything else. Insurance covers, it doesn't cover. People stay because we get results. People stay because we make it affordable, and we serve a lot of people, and we like to educate. So we just tell them this is why people stay, and we think you should too. Like, because we're going to help you. We're going to make sure you're subluxation free every time you leave here. I think that just is really the authority is alongside that. And doctors aren't the only ones to have authority. Our teams can have more authority than us at times. They buy in, they hear the testimonials. But the fun part was learning from Dr. Sid as a student and walking into clinic with authority. It's like, thanks, clinic doc. I found where subluxation is needed, even though you don't let me do a leg check or challenges, but we found it, and we're going to adjust. So I really love helping students get to DE for the first time and connecting with the clubs lately, because I want to see more and more students coming. That's something Andy has been great with too, and I want to keep working at that. I'm just going to touch on like two more before we open it up and get to talk with a couple of you guys. As far as being an empty vessel, I'm a mommy. I'll show here. I'm a mommy of 3. I shared we were doing multi-offices. I'm a wife. I'm a child of Christ. I try to be a great sister, daughter, friend. So there's a lot that goes on that can get in the way of us being empty, of being empty-minded, and especially as business owners. And so I 100% believe that when we step in the room with a patient, they deserve for us to be present with them, and they deserve for nothing to come from us besides love and the intention of clearing subluxation. And so when I was a student and I did a chiropractic mission trip in India, I have so much regret. Being in India, at first they would only bring the females to me as a female, and eventually, like, people, I was adjusting, and people were sharing the changes that they were having, and then I got to adjust the highest military official there, and they brought their son to me, and my ego was growing, and I was like, oh, those other students over there had already graduated, they're already docs from France, and they're bringing them to me, and my just ego was growing, thinking it was me actually adjusting them. And it was such a switch. God flipped it, and I couldn't move a bone. I don't know how many people I saw in that small time period before we took a break and went to lunch. And I people are sharing testimonials, and we were just having gratitude. And then I was checked in the face, and I still, like, this is 12 years later, 13 years later, can't forget those people that I had adjusted while thinking it was me, or did not adjust while it was me. And I wasn't being an open vessel. I was letting ego fill me, and I was thinking of myself. And so even in practice now, I practice so hard. I have a heavy sliding door before entering. We have 6 adjusting bays down the hall with a secret hallway. And I slide this heavy door shut before I'm entering. I know some would share they would wash their hands, or they'd have some, I forget who it was, had shared that had tied a bolt to their leg, or a nut in their that goes to a bolt, and was hanging in their pants, and they'd feel this metal move. It was so silly, the story, and I hope someone shares it, just to be present in the moment, so that they weren't thinking about anything else when they were adjusting. And so I don't know why I felt like I had to share that so strongly today. There's just so much going on this year and in the world, and we can absolutely be present and focused with our patients as we let God work through us as empty vessels. And anything we might hold against someone else, if we're not good, kind of like in scripture, when we're coming to pray to God and we're asking for blessings, if we're not good with someone else, that's not great. And we really should take care of that before coming back and asking God for those blessings, or at least pray for discernment and having a path on when it's going to be good. So I feel the same way when we're serving other people, is if we have some hostility somewhere towards someone, it can inhibit the love that pours out of us. And it might not even be towards a patient, or it is, and we have old resentment, or things we don't necessarily love about them, or like about them, but we need to really make sure that we're choosing things that we love about them every visit, and saying love as we give that adjustment. So there's an endless list of the things I've taken away from Dr. Sid and Dr. Dee, and all they've brought to DE for me. It's absolutely helped my faith grow, and it's grown in practice. It's blessed me in ways. I've served through hard times, and hearing stories as a student of families having loss, and I heard that, and I was able to serve through the passing of my mom and be blessed, and hugged a patient who was also an alcoholic, and in that moment, God blessed me that she smelled like my mom, felt like my mom, and I got to say goodbye to my mom because she had gone quickly in the night. There's so many things that we share the stories, and I just want to make sure that I was touching on some of those Sidisms, such even as I see a couple of these other ones, and maybe it's not a Sidism, but something I just had taken, but a be do have mindset. And so I saw Dr. Sid, and I wasn't trying to be him, but I was choosing, when I saw him, to be a defender of principal chiropractic like him. And so then I thought, as a student, what does a defender of principal chiropractic do? They train, and they learn, and they communicate, and they serve the patients, and they do what Dr. Dede says, and you run for ICA even if you lose twice, and you keep running in your state, and you do what a defender of principal chiropractic would do, and you go from being a mousy girl that someone that they thought couldn't actually speak as a hostess at her husband's restaurant, to speaking on Tuesday night calls or on chiropractic stages to share chiropractic. So It's just, and then we get to have, and that's not why we do it, but we get to have this amazing life that caring for God's people provides. So it's just, we're so blessed, and I'm never going to slow down. I'm going to continuously serve the chiropractic profession, sharing chiropractic, and I'm just always available. I got to speak with someone just about just this week, another DE brother, on the scary parts of bringing in associates, and really how it's not so scary, and it's a win-win-win for everyone. So I'm always here, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. And this big celebration is going to be awesome in October, not to skip over the summer, but we really hope that everyone gets to come and celebrate. Are you going to join us?
Perfect. Never slow down and continuously serve. And what a wonderful reminder of how important DE is to us and how we just need it in our lives daily, whether it's going well or not. And I always love hearing, because I never got to meet Dr. Sid. So I always love hearing everyone's stories and sharing like what his spirit was physically in the flesh. And so those were great. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Everybody, I did fail to mention that the celebration of life for Miss Umber is Saturday, June 22nd at 11 a.m. That is going to be in St. Simons, Georgia. And so they're booking a group block of hotels or hotel rooms. They expect lots of folks. So if you're interested, just keep an eye on the Facebook page and make sure that you stay connected with that, and we can all love up on the Umbers and celebrate Miss Beth as she deserves, and just share love with them. So Natalie, thank you so much for your message and for getting on tonight. I know it was a busy day for you, but we're glad you were able to share with us, and I can't wait to see you at DE real soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, have a great night. We will see you next week.
Have a good night.